Yes. Let's do it. These past 2 months have been bonkers. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget what all happened. And in the beginning I put, oh good gosh, I am losing my freaking mind. So I moved on September 24th. During the move, my camera, which you're currently viewing me on, kind of, we'll get to that, broke. Not the important expensive parts, but the also important LCD screen part. And then that following Sunday, I drove back home because I was summoned for jury duty. So I'm back home an hour from my new place. So I call jury duty and they're like, hey, we don't need you tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. But then they say, call back tomorrow to see if we need you. So I work remotely that Monday from my home, my family home. And I call back that night and they're like, hey, we don't need you tomorrow. Call back tomorrow. So I drive back up to my new apartment and I go to work and then I call that night and they're like, hey, we need you. So I go in on Wednesday to jury duty and it's the whole day. It's the entire day. I don't even get called to the box, the jury box. I'm just hanging out in the courtroom. So I drive back to my new place after jury duty and they say call because we might need you. All of my stuff is still packed because I'm like, well, what if I need to go back? So they had me call back on Thursday and Friday because they're like, we might need you for another case, which from what I heard was a 4-week medical malpractice case. And I'm like, please no. Finally, on Friday, they're like, we don't need you. Finally. And if you're like, Veronica, you just moved, so I'm telling you move. Well, they need proof, and I just moved, so I don't have any proof. Big zero. No proof. So I'm living out of my car, is how I feel during that. I don't know where they're at. They might be in Minnesota. No. So, the week after jury duty, I drive an hour-ish over to my friend's house that weekend, and she's like, hey, why don't you just stay here? And I'm like, cool, because I have a bridal portrait session the next day, which is like 2 hours from, no, an hour and a half from my place, maybe a little more. I'm like, cool, I don't have a second shooter for the bridal portraits, will you be my second shooter? And she's like, yeah, I got you. And so the 9th, my camera screen, the LCD screen, still cracked, and I'm like, crap. But it works, you know, so I'm going to the bridal portraits, and my friend is my second shooter. That week, Hurricane Ian hits. So I just got my apartment. I just survived jury duty. I did bridal portraits like 2 hours away. I'm finally back in my place and a hurricane's coming, which means work for me because I work in news. So I have a chaotic schedule, just kind of on call. And that Saturday, I also work. And then the next day, I go to the Renaissance Fair. Yeah, no, yeah, no. Yeah, okay. I've confirmed in my brain that I think that's right. And it was so much fun and I felt adorable. That outfit, my friend Tori made that shirt, made that skirt. It was her corset. So that was so much fun. Then I go to a normal work week. And that weekend, I have a wedding. Why do I have it for the whole... Oh, this is the weekend. Y'all, if you were bored, just wait. This is time. Alright, so we get the LCD screen in for my camera. That's right, we're circling back around to that. And we're like, okay, we watched a lot of YouTube videos. They say, get a hairdryer, get some tweezers. It's the day before the wedding, and I'm going to the rehearsal to shoot the rehearsal. And if you're thinking, why are you shooting the rehearsal? Well, it was almost a reception, pretty much. Like, they had a cake, they had a whole ordeal. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a professional shoot having a camera that's cracked. Which I went to the bridal portraits, and I felt so insecure the whole time. I was like, whenever I would show her a picture or something, I'm like, just ignore the screen, I'm getting it fixed. I'm not going to a wedding with a cracked screen. That's trashy. That's not who I am as a human being. So I'm like, let's do this. So it's the morning of the rehearsal. Mom and I, Dad's at the beach. So it's me and Mom, and we're performing surgery on the camera, and the screen's not really coming up, and then the little black layer underneath the screen is starting to peel off, and we start to panic. It's all kind of a blur, but I'm like, hey, wait, let's just buy one. We'll return it after the wedding. And I'm like, this is a popular camera that I have. Like, easy peasy. We got 2 Best Buys within 45 minutes of us. Let's do it. So I go online. So I search the entire state. There's one store that has my camera. It's just the camera body. And they only have one camera body. One camera. The only store, it only has one. And it's 2 hours in the opposite direction from where I'm going. I order it. And of course my card is like, this is a big purchase. Reject. And I'm like, no. And then I see the option for PayPal. And I'm like, okay. And PayPal's like, I got you, bruh. It's good. I buy a brand new camera that I was not prepared to buy. I'm like, I have to leave for the rehearsal soon. This isn't good. And so Mom's like, cool, I got you. I'm gonna go pick up the camera in that direction. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the rehearsal. And so I get my backup cameras ready. So I'm on my way to the rehearsal shoot, and I am set to be 30 minutes early because I've never been to this place before, and I kind of want to scope it out and see where things are and see where some good shots are. I hope the bride never sees this video because I think I held it together really well, and she doesn't need to know about all this. I am on my way to the rehearsal, and I have this weird feeling. I don't know why, but I just felt like my car was not gonna make it. So I get like maybe a third of the way there, and my car starts overheating. This is a completely new problem. I had no idea. There was no indication of something being wrong. And she starts overheating. I don't have Uber or anything on my phone, Lyft. I've never used it before, so I was like, do I really want to try my first time trying to make it work with all my camera gear, get in a stranger's car? Like, I call Tori because she lives in the area and she's not picking up, and I'm like, she probably works night side and she's probably sleeping, and I'm like, I'll call Kevin. Kevin is Tori's husband. And I'm like, Kevin, what you doing? And so I explain the situation. I limp my poor little car to a parking lot, and Kevin meets me there. I get all my camera gear, I lock my car, and I leave her. One of the first things I said to him was, I'm trying to control the spastic energy. This poor man drives me 40 minutes down to my rehearsal, and I'm just like, thank you so much. The couple text me and they're like, hey, we're running a few minutes late, and I'm like, that's fine. Take your sweet time. I'm good. I mean, I got there right on time with all of that chaos, so I was proud. So I called my mom, and I'm like, hey. And I said, I'm gonna say this in a calm voice because everything's okay. And I'm like, I have not cried. I'm doing great. I'm gonna hold it together. And she's like, great. When you get home, we're gonna have some wine and we're gonna cry. And I'm, thank you, Mom. We did like a little session before the rehearsal, so poses and everything, and I was pretty happy with how they came out. So we get to the actual rehearsal dinner and everything goes really well and everyone's having a great time. And you know when you start to get a little tired, so you get emotional? I'm starting to get there. Alright, it's pretty late in the evening by this point, and I'm like, hold it together, do not cry. One of the bridesmaids was one of my best friends in high school and like throughout college. And so I'm like, hey Merritt, hey Merritt, is there any chance you could drive me home tonight? And she's like, sure. Like, what's going on with your car? And I'm like, it's being towed. And she's like, what? And I said, no, it's supposed to be being towed. It broke down. Not that that sounds any better. So that evening after the rehearsal, she drives me back home. Mom got AAA, got to my car and had my car towed back home, so it met me at home. We somehow get everything together. Mom's got that last camera body that they had. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot an entire wedding with the brand new camera body that I haven't changed any of the settings with. So here's hoping. Weddings are always chaotic, like for the bride, not so much for the photographer. And I'm like, hopefully I had all the chaos for the couple so that they can have a nice wedding day and they never have to know. Oh my gosh. I shoot the whole wedding. I'm so happy with how they came out. These pictures were beautiful. The couple, you could just feel how much love there was with them. That was a lot. That was definitely like the climax of the chaos. However, everything did not calm down. So I drove back because I had work the next day, as the wedding was on a Sunday. Usually I love dog sitting. It makes me so happy. And this did too. I was so stressed. These baby dogs, they were so old, 14 and 15 years old. I was so worried that something would happen. Then, like, the stress of not having their normal people there, I was like, please, please do not pass away on me. They did so good. They only had a couple messes inside. Like, they did so good. But I was so worried. So I babysat them that weekend. After I finished babysitting the doggies, come back to my place, which again has been very little lived in. And it's election day. I work in news. So I had to work till midnight that night. It was a lot. Election day, not fun. So after election day, we're like, cool, everything's calmed down. I forget what it's called. That other hurricane. What is that other hurricane called? 2022 hurricane names.
According to Wikipedia, the 2022 Atlantic hurricane
I'm gonna fight you.
average number.
Nicole. That's what it was. Hurricane Nicole hits. Yeah, buddy. It didn't hit us as hard as Ian. Thank goodness. But it was still a lot. It's, when it comes to severe weather, it's just at news, you're just constantly on edge. You're like, do I need to jump now? And then that weekend, I have a wedding. By the way, I still haven't fixed my other camera. I kept this camera, and that was a big purchase I did not mean to make, including the purchases that I had to get to fix my car. Without my family, honestly, without anybody, I could not have made it through these past few months. Hurricane Nicole had calmed down. I'm driving back down to similar where was the other wedding. So again, it's another long drive. I drive down there. Parents have a hotel because Mom's sick with bronchitis, but she's still going to be my second shooter that day. Bless her heart. So the next day is the wedding. Wedding goes well. Everything was so beautiful. We drive back up to family home. I've noticed my eye starts twitching that week, and I think that was just from stress. But then that weekend, I had set for my housewarming party to be, and although I was so stressed and so tired, I still wanted to have it and still have fun, and it was the best. And I think everyone had a good time. And then the next weekend we drive all the way up to West Virginia and we have Thanksgiving with my family. We drove up Wednesday and we had to come back Saturday, but it was so nice to be with family. And that Sunday I went over to my friend's house and we helped decorate for Christmas, make Christmas cookies, and Josh was there. And now we're here. The plan was to have a party with family, drive up to the mountains and get a live Christmas tree. But you know what happened? I got the flu. Today I had off as a vacation day because I was taking the long weekend to go to the mountains and do Christmas shopping and get a tree. But you know how I spent it? On my couch, just trying to survive. I'm doing so much better than I was. I was ill. I was quite ill. But like I got my nails and my toes done, like you see, for the party. I haven't had a mani-pedi since high school, y'all. So that is where we are at, and this was a lot. But honestly, I needed to vent and rant and let that out. I hope your holiday season is going swimmingly. And if your camera breaks, don't try to fix it the day before a major event. But that's just me. Look at these nails! Look how cute they are! Look how cute they are. This is not tea or hot chocolate. This is Theraflu. It's medication because I'm ill. Honestly, just venting and ranting about this has really helped me, one, process it, but also like cleanse in a way. Like I feel like I'm finally ready to put my Christmas decorations up and start to enjoy the season. Stay hydrated, wash your hands a lot. You're doing great, and I thank you for watching this. Cheers. Oh. I went plump. Ah! Oh, that's gross. All right.